I recently revelry with some more mmorpg news today, and today we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV and their changes to the housing system as of 6.1. Now, Final Fantasy XIV has had a long and sort of sordid history with how they used to sell plots of land in this game, used to be a bit of a competition, and used to be even much as a gamble in order to get a plot of land. But as of 6.1, they have changed because basically they are moving on to a new based lottery system for the 48 plots that are going to be available in Imperium, which is going to be the new housing area. So as the article previously said, it used to be a first come, first served sort of basis. When a new piece of land came in, you would go ahead, go buy it, etc. If you could get into the plot of land first of all, and into the actual area or ward as it was sold. And now Final Fantasy XIV is going to be going into a new system where it's going to be based on a lottery. So we're going to actually go look at the article generated on the lodestone, which is Final Fantasy XIV's NA sort of basis. Now, as sort of mentioned, the area of Ishgard's Imperium are going to be reopened. It's sort of a big event. It was previously thought it was going to happen back in Heavensworn and was continuously pushed on and on and on to the point now where it's actually come out in this game. Now, if we're looking into it, there's not really that much of a change until we actually start to get down to what the methods of land change. They do have some nice pretty images of what the land looked like, but then I digress because we're actually going to be focused on how they buy land. So previously, it used to be first come, first served basis, as they mentioned, and now it's going to be going into what is a lottery system. So basically what you would do is you would go into an entry period, which is highlighted by here, of 5 days, where you get to go up to a piece of land, put your lottery and ticket in for land in that area, from the looks of things, or a desired plot or a predetermined period of time. So meaning that they would choose a plot, you put your token into the ring after paying a deposit. After that period, you get a results period of 4 days, where that person who wins the plot of land can actually come up and claim it. And then if it isn't sold in that period of time, or it's not claimed, it can go back into the pool. Obviously, the entry requirements then are that certain pieces of land are going to be delegated for private buyers only, and then some for free companies. Now, what that means to say is that a free company would be a guild house versus a private player house. You go up to basically a lovely little sign saying, "Do you want to buy this land? It's going to cost you 3 million gil if you want it." You go yes or no. So as you see here, it says it's available to free companies, so there's going to be land that's available to one or the other, and there's potentially land that's going to be available to both. Going from that basis, you submit your lottery ticket, that's 3 million gil that's come out of your pocket. Go put it in, wait for the results in the housing tab, and then you get to come back and claim it. And that's when it gives you a sort of set period of time where you can log in and claim it. Now, obviously, it does sort of state that you have to go back to the plot of land after you've won it to go turn it in, and there's ability to change around, etc. But if you lose the lottery, you get 100% of the money you put in to actually try and get this plot of land. And then goes onto a little bit of a section here saying that if you've emptied a plot of land, you've sold it or got rid of it, it's not going to go out into the wider community again. It's going to be going back into another lottery. And then obviously a little section on there is basically saying that you can't buy a piece of land that's not on your home world, meaning that if you can't simply go and try and snipe a piece of land that's going to be on another server from your home server, meaning that you basically sort of corner the market. Now, what do I sort of think about this? So, long and short of it, Final Fantasy XIV has a really bad history with how they actually get player housing. I mean, personally, I've only ever had to own an apartment because apartments are considered less desirable because you basically walk into a tower block. There's an instance there that says, "This is your house." You go buy it. You get a 1-room apartment, which it's a pretty big room, which you can divvy out and make sectionized rooms, etc., doors, whatnot, make it into an actual apartment. Whereas houses are always seen as a little bit more prestigious because they're out in the open. You can see that house. If that house is built in a certain way and it's your house, you know it's your house in a particular ward. Obviously, role players aside actually absolutely love houses because they want to make sort of RP locations, etc., and they're a big commodity as well. There's always been that problem, however, with sort of house sharks, where they'll buy pieces of land and then upflip it, and trying to buy land as well was always a bit difficult when you would pay the person to drop the claim on the land and then have to immediately buy it, because you could always get sniped by someone who was particularly watching or someone who knew about it, because it was just simply a matter that you would go up to the land when they had a free slot, go, "I want to buy it," you buy it, you get your house. There was many, many reasons and difficulty behind it. Do I think this system is fairer? I think it is fairer on the basis that you are letting the dice roll about who gets the land, which is fair in essence. However, there has always been that problem that there is never enough land available because there's not enough power on the servers to give supply equals demand. Opening up another 48 is great. However, what's very much likely going to happen is that someone from a previous ward may sell their old property to try and throw the hat into a newer area, which means that you don't have the stagnation. That being, so what I'm trying to say by that is pretty much you have older players who want to go into the newer area, so they'll probably dump their properties to try and get in a new one. But this is probably not going to happen now because there's less of a potential chance that you're going to get a house. Meaning that older wards are less likely to going to have sales. So you think like Kugudane, which was Stormblood's version, where you actually had that. There's not going to be a lot of people going to be selling there anymore because the problem is you can't sell to someone. Now, going forward, the way you buy land is that it's going to be on a rotation. That being said, there is an argument that can be made for the fact that now that the land is going to be all on a lottery, that meaning that if you had one in Uldar or Limsa Luminsa or in Gridania, if you sell that, it's going to go into a lottery. It's going to make it more fair on anyone who wants to go buy. So ultimately, the only people in this sort of process who are removed from it are the people who are trying to sell, because maybe they want to quit the game and give it to someone else that they know, and they can't do that anymore. Like the previous old system would allow, you'd have to try and sell it at an inopportune time for everyone, which you can't because you've now, obviously, as it said here, you've got an entry period of 5 days, meaning if you want to sell your property, there's going to be a period of 5 days where anyone can come and submit a ticket for. So the only way you could realistically sort of inhibit that process is if someone comes along, an entire guild individually comes along and tries to purchase that property, meaning that that's a lot of individuals trying to pay 3 million gil, even for a small property plot. But I think it's required. And the reason why I think it is required in 6.1 is because the game has become so popular, there needs to be at least a chance that people who have now started to play the game and got up all the way to current content, they need the ability to try and buy a house, even if it's just the ability to do so. Not the fact that they will get the house, because ultimately you're on a lottery, and the lottery is always going to be against you. If you get that 1%, you're going to get through it. Fair enough. The only other highlight that people may bring up is whether or not you can actually get it. Maybe there's bots, maybe there are accounts that are loads of high-level players have multiple accounts that are all in the requirement zone to get these houses, who then bid on them, like a mass thing. And then maybe they'll switch their alts onto that account, and they'll only play that alt. Who knows? I'd actually like to hear your thoughts on it if you've managed to get to this far in the video, and I'd want to hear your thoughts about what you feel this system is going to bring. Do you think it's good, or do you think it's bad? Because that's been Recent Revelry. I'm your host today. Thank you for watching the video. If you feel free to like and subscribe the video because it helps me out a lot, and I hope to see some comments soon. Well, take care. Have a lovely evening. Hi, it's Recent Revelry, and thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe because it really helps out the channel, and it'll help me decide on what you guys want to do and what you want me to do, and actually angle the channel towards what is going to come out. If you are interested in other videos, feel free to look down below, and if Reese has timed this right, it'll have the other videos there, or at least a playlist, or another video, maybe an icon. Other than that, take care. Hope to see you around.